This is Onna. It is 2023. I'm in Hanoi, Vietnam, in the main part of the city. I arrived late last night on a 9 p.m. flight. My first impressions of Vietnam are not the best so far, but I have decided that I am not going to let my first day deter me from staying. I really this morning wanted to just hop back on a plane and go home to Taipei. I don't know where, but it's like Taiwan feels like home. Vietnam feels like not home. I don't know. It's not my thing so far. But I was like, I arrived at 9 p.m. The flight went great. I got supposedly a luxury seat, which was basically an economy seat. I have no idea why they called it luxury, except that it had a window, but it was very tiny. But this flight was much better than my previous flight to Taipei from San Francisco because I was able to stretch my feet out and I had a rolling suitcase this time, not a duffel. I'm like, I am improving. I also made it to the airport 3 hours early. It took forever to check in. I found out that just because there's a single bag that says 50 kilograms does not mean you pick everything in the bag and make it weigh 50 kilograms. It's just the overall bags have to be less than 50. And I added 50, but I really only needed like an extra 25 because it already came with 35 kilograms of luggage. I'm like, I spent an extra $30, but it's nothing compared to the stress of worrying I wouldn't be able to get on the plane with my stuff. But anyway, the plane ride went well. I got through security without any trouble except my water bottle, which I had to empty and refill. But I mean, oh no, that's no big deal. And they let me through with my umbrella. I was like, thank you. It rains supposedly on average 7 to 8 days a month in Hanoi. When I am traveling there, I do not want to be without my raincoat and rain umbrella. And I know I could get one here, but I didn't want to ask the nice people to store my huge umbrella for me while I'm away. So anyway, I landed. We made it off the plane. We made it through immigration. Everyone ran for the line, and I don't know, that was really unsettling. Like, I'm not good with lines, so it's like I don't know where the line begins, where the lines, and I'm line challenged. But I made it to the line. I'm like, this is the immigration line, but everyone's just kind of pushing and shoving and trying to get through. And the immigration guy, I'm ready when I get to the counter. I have my passport. I have my onward ticket to Chiang Mai, which is technically an onward ticket, but I only paid $10 for it because I didn't know if I was going to Chiang Mai. And I'm like, budget is kind of tight right now. So like, I have my onward ticket. I have my printed out visa. I have it all there. I'm handing it to him. I'm like, I don't speak a lick of Vietnamese. So I'm just like, here you go. And he's like, I'm like, I haven't, was it something I didn't say? He's like, So I take my mask off. He glares at me. He glares at everybody coming through that's European or looks American. I'm like, I don't know. He also glares at people who look Vietnamese too, so I don't know if it's just a general glare fest for him or not, but I'm like, I'm not asking if I can get an extension on this because my initial feelings here are not very good. So then I get out of there. I go to pick up my baggage. There's somebody there that's supposed to help with the baggage. And I go up to them and I say, I'm missing my backpack, which has like 20 Korean face masks, my NET cargo pants, and some other stuff, which I do really want. And they're like, I'm going to go do this. And I'm like, baggage, these are my papers. So I show her my papers. She's like, never mind. And I'm going, this is weird. This is very weird. I did eventually find my backpack, so I got to the main part of the airport, and everyone's yelling to get their taxi or their SIM card, and I'm like, I kind of surprised them because I walked right on past, and then I pulled out my phone and I'm like, there's a specific SIM card I need, which has good mobile data in case my Wi-Fi sucks brick like it did in Taiwan. So I'm pulling out my SIM card information on my phone, and I can tell the guys at the kiosk like, what is this weird American woman doing? She walked right past us. And I then look up and I'm going, okay, they are the SIM card provider for the whatever, the real SIM card that I'm supposed to get. Anyway, I'm a little blitzkrieg because I'm still catching up on sleep from the convention this last weekend. But anyway, I make it back to them and I will take the SIM card. It was only $15. So like, hey, I save money there. Half of what I spent too much on the luggage. Maybe it all balances out. I use my credit card because I'm like, I am not using my debit card here because I feel a little unsafe with things. I mean, I feel perfectly safe in my personhood. I'm not worried at all about that. But I'm like, I don't really trust the financial side of things. I'm either going to pay with cash or I'm paying with my credit card. So if something gets screwed up, it does not go to the main checking account. Plus, I'm like, at the end of the month, I can just pay it all off on the credit card and know this was how much I spent on my time in Vietnam, or if I decide to pack it all up and go back to Boba Tea Land. I'm like, that could happen. I wouldn't put it past me depending on how the next few days go. But anyway, so I make it there and it's like, we can get your tax. I'm going, how much is it going to be for that tax? They're like, about $23. It ended up being like 37 with the SIM card and that. And I'm like, I'm not quibbling over $4. So I get the tax and they said, just make sure it's the person who you're supposed to get for the tax. I'm like, no one said anything about Vietnamese kidnappings and taxis, but is this something to be concerned about? Because they seem very serious. I'm like, okay, I will make sure I weighted that pillow. I will make sure that person has I didn't get a license. It's like number 19 pillar. I'm like, are you a taxi driver? Yes. I said, okay, are you here to take me to the I Stay Hotel? Yes. I'm like, I'm going to hope this works out and I have my phone if something goes wrong. So anyway, I get in the car. We drive like half an hour to the heart of Hanoi. The traffic is very strange. There are no traffic lights and everyone's honking their cars. It's not as peaceful as Taipei. I mean, the only angry person I met in Taiwan when I was there for almost 3 months was another American at a breakfast shop, just saying the F word every other sentence because he's very upset about his job, which I don't know what was going on with his job. I'm like, you're the only angry person I've met in Taiwan, and you happen to be an American. I'm sorry, this does not speak well of us. But anyway, I'm like, I come to Vietnam, I'm like, everyone's angry or just upset in general on the traffic or trying to sell me something. And I'm like, have you seen my bags? My bags are not hold anymore. I am in college. I do not have loads of money. I don't, have that. Anyway, so I'm like, I make it to the hotel. The hotel room I have is very nice, but I have to keep my bathroom door shut because there is black mold in there that smells really bad. And I'm like, I'm not terribly freaked out about the black mold because I'm like, I just took a quick bath and I ran in to use the restroom and ran back out and then keep the door shut, which I read online. I read an article on this. They said the best way to handle this if you cannot clean it is to keep the door shut on it. So I'm like, that's what I'm doing. And I'm out of here on Saturday morning to my next apartment. But I did message my friends in the States and my best friend in India, and I said, this morning I woke up and I was like, I ran into the bathroom. I ran back out. I redid my luggage somewhat. My luggage has a big heavy sticker on it. It weighed 42 kilograms, not 50, so I was under, but yeah. So anyway, I woke up, I got dressed. I opened my schedule up this afternoon. I'm going to be teaching and probably into the night because I'm really needing to catch up major on my work. So I'm like, this is good because I really don't want to go outside and meet people right now. It hasn't been good so far. I did go out this morning to the OK convenience store. There's 2 near me. So I went to the one. I couldn't find any breakfast food. So I went to that. I'm like, there's supposed to be a brunch shop somewhere nearby, but all these restaurants are Korean and they look very spicy and somewhat expensive, although I'm not sure what VND conversion rate is. So I ended up going to the other OK convenience store. I got some money at the ATM. I had a very nice lady at a massage shop. I'm like, I'm going back to her to get a massage because she was super nice. I was like, I don't need a massage, but do you speak any English? And she's like, a little bit. And I'm going, ATM, where's the ATM? Because I'm like, I need to have a little cash, not much. So I got like $42 in cash, which will probably literally last me all this week because it doesn't cost much for anything here. But anyway, I got my money from the thing because I was like, I don't want to get a lot of money from here because if I do decide to just pack up and leave, I have some money in savings on my Payoneer account. I'm like, that's kind of my mad money. And if I just decide to throw it all and go back to Taiwan, I can use that money. So anyway, I'm like, I don't think I'll do that, but I have surprised myself at times. I'm just saying. So anyway, I went, after I got my ATM money, I went to the convenience store. I got a steamed roll, a slushie, a coffee, and noodles. It took about 20 minutes for the steam roll, and I had this very nice guy who was at the convenience store in line, and he was trying to talk to me, and I was like, I literally stood there and I was like, I don't know what the man is trying to say. And I was very stressed, but I was going, I'm sorry, sir, but I don't understand. And it literally took 3 minutes to make me realize he's trying to speak in English, but very fast. Like, I thought my aunts and mother spoke in English fast, but when I was growing up, but he had him beat, and I was going, I think he's trying to tell me that they have to cook the steamed roll and the noodle. I said, I don't care. I'm not in a rush. I don't have to do anything until afternoon. And they're like, the American is not in a rush. I'm like, I don't care. I just want food sometime today. So I got my dumpling, our steamed roll. I got my noodles. I got my coffee. I got a slushie while I waited. I went upstairs to wait. It's packed with people. I've got a seat next to a lady who I said, can I sit here? Because I'm like, I don't know what etiquette is here. And I'm like, I do want to be able to sit while I wait for my food, so I'm not just like moseying around the convenience store for 20 minutes. And I don't want to go outside because there are traffic and they're putting up all this construction near there without any kind of caution tape. So I'm like, they could drop a saw or something and that could hit my head. That would not be good. So anyway, I was like, I'm staying in here. So I drank my slushy and messaged my friends and going, well, I'm in Vietnam. I got to my apartment. I have to go to the other one this Saturday, but I am really, really missing Taiwan. I want to go back home now to Taiwan where there's bubble tea and everything's clean and it doesn't smell like cigarette smoke. I'm like, oh, because here it's like I walk out into the foyer and I couldn't figure out. I've been having some sore throat and I thought, well, maybe it's the black mold in the bathroom. And I'm like, the door is sealed. I don't think it's coming out here. And there is a little patch of something on the ceiling, but I'm like, I think that's actually water damage. I don't think that's black mold or fire damage. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm like, I'm not really worried about that. But I'm going, something is choking me up. And I'm going, I haven't had this since I left the States. So I walked out and I'm like, it's the cigarette smoke because the cigarette usage here is major. I mean, I went in the convenience store, I'm like, they have a lot of cigarettes, and then they had what I thought were cigarettes, but right by the counter when you check out on the right-hand side, there were these huge boxes of something. I was like, are those like a massive box of cigarettes? Because I'm like, I haven't seen one that size since I was a kid for cigarettes. I was like, no, that's condoms. And I said there for a minute, went, well, I'm guessing from the size of that box that Vietnam has a lower birth rate than they would have without that box. But I was like, that was a little strange to me. I was like, I'm gonna step back from the counter a little bit. I was like, I have nothing against condoms, but I was like, I didn't know you could buy them in such large containers. I was like, or that they would be so prominently displayed. It's like in Taiwan and in the US, when you go into the convenience stores, the condoms are always tucked by the menstrual pads, like out of view in a back aisle where no one can see them. I always have found that interesting. Like, we all know where to go for the menstrual pads, and I'm sure the guys know where to go for the condoms. I'm like, I always have found that I'm like, why do we hide them in the back corner? It's something that most people use. But I really was a little surprised to see such large boxes of them in the checkout at the convenience store. I was like, I am a long way from home, and I never have missed the US since I've left 3 months ago. Like, I have not had a single day going, oh, I wish I were back in the States. No, that has not happened. But I'm like, I today had a moment where I was going, I really want to go back to my home in Taiwan, where I don't have an apartment yet. But at this point, I'm like, I was thinking about going to Thailand after this. But I met a lovely person for coffee before I left Taiwan. And he's like, Anna, you might want to know that there's some things about Thailand that might not be your jam, especially if you really like Taiwan. He's very calm and very nice. I think he's the only person I've met who used the F word, but he said it so calmly. I was like, I've never met someone who uses the F word so calmly. He was like, I don't know why everyone is shocked when they use the F word in front of me. I'm like, I have nothing against the F word. You can talk however you like around me. It's not going to make me think badly of you. But I don't use the F word simply because when I was growing up, my mom used it like sometimes every other word some days, and it didn't make anything better. And I remember sitting there as a small child and as a teenager going, you know, I don't know a lot about swearing, but I have found out that it doesn't really seem to help in this situation, and it just tends to escalate everybody around you sometimes. So I was like, I'm not doing that because I don't want to escalate people, and I think we can find something else to say in its stead, like, I don't know, flummoxed, fantastical, I don't know. But anyway, but I have no problem with the F word. So I'm like, I always think it's funny because my friend's like, we can't say that around Onna. I'm like, you can say whatever you want around me. I don't care as long as you're smiling, as long as you're happy, as long as you're venting in a healthy way. I don't care. But anyway, I went out to have coffee with this acquaintance of mine, and they were like, I know you like Taiwan, but you might want to, probably might want to settle here, except for that little problem we have with China, which you probably have heard about, which we're going to ask that more. I think everyone in the universe with any knowledge of Asia has heard about the issue with China and Taiwan. I'm like, I will cross that bridge when it comes to it, but I was like, Thailand, I didn't know that this was a problem there, but I might look into that a little bit. But I was like, I will go from Vietnam to Thailand and I can save more money, and then I'll go back to Taiwan and be able to make a balanced decision on, do I get an apartment there for long term? Do I get an apartment somewhere else? And I'm like, after last night, I woke up this morning and was like, I don't make rash decisions, but I really wanted to just pack up my bags and leave. And I was like, Anna, you need to give it a chance. You need to give it a moment. You need to be there and sit there and go, this situation